Hello from the Triathlon, which combines the very best in elite competition along with a little showbiz sprinkling of celebrity glamour. It also boasts the most stunning city centre racecourse, and in terms of sheer numbers, this is the biggest swim, bike, run event in the world. It is, of course, the AJ Bell London Triathlon. We're going to be seeing some of the quickest and some of the most talented athletes in the sport take part here and compete for honours in the British Triathlon Super Series. Joining them will be 13,000 enthusiastic participants who really are enjoying the fastest growing sport in the country. Many of them are well-known faces who just love a swim, bike, run event, and there's a lot of first-timers too who are getting in on the action.
Such a buzz doing an event like this that even though you get the nerves and stuff, when you're actually waiting in that way ready to start your swim, it kind of all the adrenaline kicks in and that competitive spirit as well. So that's already sort of building up inside me now.
It's just a great chance to meet lots of people. It's a great chance to be part of something, you know, that so many women are involved in.
There's over 13,000 people that take part, so it's the biggest triathlon in the world. So it just makes it a really, really exciting race. There's so many people here, the atmosphere is amazing.
Well, it looks like it's going to be an action-packed weekend here at the London Triathlon. And to make sure we get everything covered, Joe Tidy is with me. You love a triathlon, don't you? And you love London Triathlon too.
I do, yeah. I raced here in 2011, so a little while ago. I did okay, I got a PB actually. It's quite a good course for that. Lots of people come here who've never done a triathlon before. I think it's about a third of the people here never done a tri before, and a third of the people here have never done London Triathlon before either.
There's lots of different distances you can cover. So if you are a newbie, you could do a super sprint, introduce yourself, or a relay.
Yeah, it goes right the way from super sprint to Olympic plus as well. If you fancy a really long bike ride, that's 80k on the bike, which is quite hard. And then of course you've got the team relays, and loads of corporates come here as well. Big companies from those guys over there, they come here, they bring massive teams, raise about £2 million for charity as well.
We've also got the other end of the spectrum. We've got the elites, and they like it here too.
We've got some big names, especially in the women's race. We've got 2 Olympians at least. We've got Helen Jenkins, she's come along. Obviously she's a British triathlete. She's double former ITU world champion. She's racing against Gillian Sanders. She's a South African Olympian as well. And we've got other big names like Emma Pallant as well, and Charlotte McShane. So the women's race, it could be anyone. It's going to be really exciting to see how that goes down. The men's, I mean, that's anyone's game really. You've got people like Morgan Davis, Brendan Sexton. In Liverpool, we saw a very close race between those. Morgan Davis won it, but Brendan Sexton not far behind in second place. Then you've got other people like Harry Wiltshire. He's used to doing longer distances, of course, but he's hoping to put in a good performance in the swim. We're expecting him to probably come out of the water first.
It's going to be good. And then there's also the showbiz side of it. There's quite a few celebs here as well.
It always attracts a lot of celebrities, and I think that's probably part of the appeal for the age groupers as well. They want to come to a race that not only sees the top pros having a go, but also some famous people as well.
Okay, well, look, we've got everything covered. We better get started, actually. And here to help us cover the event, let's hand over now to commentator Patrick Winterton.
What a day, what an event we have here in London. Of course, the biggest triathlon in the world, and we've got some of our celebrities on hand. Jason Bradbury, Charlie Webster is there, Michelle Dillon, who of course was a very talented triathlete herself, Lydia Bright and Stu Hayes basking in the London sun.
Okay, 2 teammates here that are focusing, getting ready. Jason Bradbury, Stuart Hayes, how are you feeling?
Me, massively nervous because Stuart's doing the swim, and then he's going to hand me a really good position, probably first, although he'll deny that, and then all I can do is mess it up.
Nonsense. You're a seasoned triathlete. He'll be fine, won't he?
He'll be absolutely fine. He's been really working hard on the bike. He's been out in the Surrey Hills training, Richmond Park doing the laps, so he's in really great shape. So we're going to see something special today.
So there's a third member to your team. Where is he?
He's on his way. He's the magic man. He's going to do something crazy a bit later on, but he'll be here soon.
We have a magician, don't we? We have an actual magician who's our third member, our runner, which I just think's bizarre. Max, are you anywhere?
Is there a rabbit under your hat?
No, unfortunately, not even a hair.
Okay, so what are you going to do with this?
You see, we've got a secret weapon, you see, in order to win this race today, you see. And the secret weapon is concealed behind Stuart's right ear. See, this is the thing, you see, you can't really see it very well, but you see, if we just apply a little bit of, it's an invisible, it's right there, see, it's an invisible goldfish, and what that does, you see, is what that actually does, you see it right there, what that does is that swims along, you see, alongside him, and we attach it to his ear.
Well, let's hope that Max can pull a trick like that out of the bag when he takes his leg. He's taking the run, incidentally. Stu Hayes, of course, taking the swim for his team. And he's a class act in the water. Many times we've seen him first out of the water. He's good on the bike as well, but that duty will fall to Jason. And Jason just checking his gadgets, making sure everything is in place. How many milliseconds difference will that make? We'll find out. Stu Hayes coming in. Of course, Stu, a former World Cup winner. He won in Kitzbühel many years ago. Took the rest of the world by surprise on that occasion. His work is done. And now it's down to Jason Bradbury. 20 kilometres to complete on the bike.
How do you think Jason will do? He was getting a bit nervous.
Yeah, he will go off like a bullet and therefore he blow up. He always does that.
Doesn't he have all the gadgets, being the gadget man that he is, and kind of like that will help him?
Sure, he'd like a little engine in his back wheel, but you're not allowed that here, so he's just going to have to use his 2 legs.
I've done the classic. Come out far too quick. I'm already killing in my lungs. Gasping for breath. It's just the occasion. And seeing an Olympian like Stuart come out of the swim just shot me out of the traps.
Jason obviously ignoring team captain's warnings before the race, but he'll enjoy this bit of downhill to aid recovery. Charlie Webster, TV presenter. She's done many a marathon and a few triathlons, going all the way on her own today in the sprint event.
This is the first one and only one I've ever done, and it means so much to me because it gave me a huge amount of confidence to believe in myself that I could actually do a triathlon. And the people and the crowds are really good, and it's such a supportive environment. This is the one I would recommend anybody to do as a beginner.
High praise indeed from Charlie Webster. Great shot of Canary Wharf. This, of course, a new part of the course this year, and so many of those who work in those offices are racing today in the team event. Jason still pushing it out on the road.
I've got to hand something decent to Max, who's doing the run for us. He's genuinely been training really hard. He can do a sub 20-minute 5K, which I'll be honest, it's quicker than I've ever done. So I think he'll do well. He'll certainly get lots of cheers with that top hat.
Jason on course for a sub 40-minute 20k on the bike, so he's going okay. And there's his final leg runner, Max in the top hat. And he'll be looking for a decent time. If he can beat 20 minutes, that will be impressive. Well, here's Lydia Bright, who some of you may recognise from Towie. And I know she's been putting in a lot of training in preparation for this event.
This is actually my second time. I actually did the triathlon, I think maybe 2 years ago, but I was the cycle part. This time I'm the run. So I am nervous because I'm not really that much of a massive runner, but I thought, challenge myself, do something different. And yeah, I'm just hoping that no injuries and I make it past that finish line.
So a 5k run for her, so she should be out on the road for somewhere between 25 and 30 minutes. That would be respectable for Lydia Bright. Good luck to her. And so in comes Jason Bradbury. His 20k's completed. And now it is down to Max Somerset, looking for a little bit of magic.
Let's do it!
Here we go. He's after 20 minutes. If he can beat 20 minutes, that would be astonishing. And he set off at a decent pace, and he could find himself weaving in and out of the other competitors. Remember, over 13,000 athletes competing here this weekend. Wave after wave of athlete. Remember, so many different lengths of event here in London. That's half of the appeal. You don't have to go in at the Olympic distance. You can do sprints, super sprints, you can be part of the relay team. Here comes Charlie Webster, who's chosen to do the sprint distance alone this year. running well, good form. And looks as though she's going to record a time around 1 hour, 34 minutes. And a big smile all round.
What is it about triathlons that you love so much?
I think the people. People are so nice and so encouraging, and you see, I don't know, people, oh my God, you did it, like, oh, that's amazing, and it's just such a community spirit and really, really encouraging.
Now, how about this for an inspiring story? Nick Green, open heart surgery in April, and here he is competing in the London Triathlon. A big hug for his daughter Naomi. He was in hospital for 93 days. It's a fantastic effort.
Just when I got out of hospital, I thought to myself, yeah, I'm still going to do this, give it a go. I actually signed up to do it the first week of recovery from surgery, so this is going to be the biggest challenge I'll ever face. 3-4 months post-surgery. I'm nowhere near as fit as I used to be, I know that now, but just to come here, to get here, to compete, and to try, it's the biggest try in the world. That'll do me.
4 operations he's had now, and he puts his recovery down to the fact that he keeps himself fit. Well, here comes Max, and he's had a good run. Stu Hayes on the left, Jason Bradbury there, eager to get into the finish.
And how do you feel it's all over now?
Oh, relieved, really relieved. What a great result.
Yeah, it was awesome. Max gave it everything at the end, so we're really, really proud of him.
Lydia Bright, last few painful steps. She has pushed really hard today. And her team members joining her for the last 50 metres or so.
Oh my God, I can't breathe. That was so hard. Oh,
come here, you did brilliantly.
I got to the part of all the charity tents, and they're all clapping. That's it. I kept going. It's really good. There's a really good atmosphere out there.
You've got a little surprise guest
here. Oh, I know. He's turned up, bless him.
So, boyfriend Arch, he hasn't done the race, but he's made it to the finish just in time. And here comes Nick Green. What a phenomenal effort. 3.5 months since his operation, and he's been thinking about this and training for it ever since. It's not the quickest time, but it is perhaps the most impressive performance of all.
I was expecting it to be tough, but that was real tough, yeah. But I got there, yeah. You've got a goal, you've got a dream, just do it, eh?
Well, there have been plenty who have realised dreams today, some individually, some in teams, and all those in teams really enjoying the camaraderie.
Still so much to come from the London Triathlon, including the elites battling out for their own moment in the spotlight here at the finish line. Welcome back to the AJ Bell London Triathlon, which this year is also the deciding race in the UK's premier triathlon competition, the British Triathlon Super Series. Now, any deciding race is going to be tense, but when it's also the title of the world's biggest triathlon that's up for grabs, well, things get a little bit tougher, and the stakes are definitely high for the 2015 Elite Race.
I'm really happy to be back. I haven't raced London for years, and I've always really enjoyed the event.
It's exciting and it's hard racing.
I'm excited to be here and the sun's shining outside too.
It's just a big race.
It certainly is, and all the athletes getting ready for the start. Gillian Sanders, South African, lawyer, athlete, Olympian. Just part of the quality in this field. McShane there for Australia. And Helen Jenkins, nice to see her back in action in London. Of course, just fresh from the race in Rio where she had a disaster, had to retire after the swim.
Really wanted to do a race because I've had a really good block of training. I had about 7-8 weeks where I got some real consistency in. I'd like to be able to show that really, and it's quite nice to do a British race, a race on home soil. These are the races I started doing when I was first in elite, so it's kind of cool to come back. I love London. I think the atmosphere is great here. I think there's so many people doing the first ever triathlon, so there's so many people watching and coming down. I think it's just really nice.
It's hard to know what to expect from Charlotte McShane. She's had a very mixed bag of results so far this year.
I've had some good races and I've also had some bad races, so we're just over halfway through into the season now, so hopefully I can pick it back up again.
And perhaps the quickest runner in the field, Emma Pallant. Can she stay with the pace in the early stages?
For me personally, I love being it's kind of my hometown, so all my friends and family can come and cheer and support without too much kind of travel. But I just think the event is so big and so popular because it's well organised, and it's one of those things that you just hear so much about. Everyone wants to experience it, and people will often come back. So that's a sign of a really good event.
Well, it certainly is, and Emma Pallant will hope to get a decent position in the swim. That's absolutely crucial as far as her success goes. The right-hand side of the field here looks to be stacked. So many of the big names are over there near the ropes. We've got McShane and Jenkins on the right. I think Natalie Milne is over there as well, and Hannah Kitchen certainly just tracking Jenkins in the early stages. So away they go, and already the right-hand side just pulling a couple of metres ahead. The pace will be fast and furious. It's an Olympic distance triathlon, remember. 1,500 metre swim, 40 kilometres on the bike, and they finish it off with a 10k run around the streets of London. Well, with the pace they're setting, it's hard to believe they've got to go 1,500 metres, but certainly the likes of Kimberly Bell up there in the front with Milne and Kitchen pushing the pace. Jenkins in third position, nearest the ropes on this side, just that purple patch under the armpit. And I think that's Charlotte McShane. It is Charlotte McShane, just on the other side of Jenkins. And those two will be well aware of each other's presence. They are the two favourites here today. And at the moment, it looks as though they're going to be cycling together as well as swimming together, but some way to go. A group of 5 up front now. Bell, McShane, Jenkins, Kitchen, Milne, all in there. And if they can open up a gap of some 20-30 seconds, they could do a lot of damage. And first out of the water is Kimberly Bell, who's had an excellent swim. McShane and Jenkins side by side, neither of them making mistakes in the early stages. Now the transition absolutely crucial. McShane just easing into the front. Kimberly Bell just struggling with the wetsuit a little. Every second counts, and that's something that she can tidy up in future races. Now this is the second group, and we've got Emma Pallant in here. Fenella Langridge is there as well. She's certainly expecting to make top 10 today. Could do a whole lot better than that. But there's a gap of some 30 seconds between that leading group of 5 and the likes of Emma Pallant, and that is a big margin. Well, there's Emma Pallant. Just going through. She's going to have some company on the bike, but I can't see anyone there who's as strong as Pallant on the bike, and that might mean that Pallant has to do the work if she's going to try and catch the leading group, which will certainly contain Jenkins and McShane. Now Jenkins is brilliant in the transitions. Just watch her work. Very smooth, no panic at all. Easy as you like, and she's earned herself a couple of seconds, certainly over McShane. Are those two going to come out on their own? They've certainly pushed the pace on the run into the XL centre, and McShane has lost 4 or 5 seconds. This is Kitchen and Milne exiting the XL centre, and they'll be desperate to catch the two leaders. They might be pressed, but also vital they get a good result for their position in the Super Series. Jenkins and Charlotte McShane Australia versus Wales. And just behind them, Natalie Milne, some 15 seconds behind, the Scottish champion from this year.
Well, the elite women got off to a great start in the water there, but remember, triathlon is more than just one discipline. It's almost time now to find out which of the elite men have the right combination to win here in London.
Well, there are plenty of men who could win. Perhaps Brendan Sexton, the favourite, the Australian who was in the Olympics in 2012, and a man who's been on tour for a decade.
This is the second time I've raced London. It was actually my first ever international elite race 10 years ago. So it's pretty cool to come back and race back in the Excel Centre. I mean, it was a big eye-opener for me. It was my first time I'd travelled by myself from Australia, so coming back a bit more experienced and a bit more seasoned, I think it's pretty cool to be back here a whole decade later.
Some might argue that Morgan Davis is the man to watch, the man of the moment after his win in Liverpool where he outran Brendan Sexton. The bike perhaps his only slight weakness.
Really excited actually. This is my first time doing the London Triathlon, so I'm really excited to see what the course has to offer, and my training has been really good up to this point.
The men, of course, racing over exactly the same distance as the women, a 1,500-metre swim, which will take little more than 18 minutes to complete. Harry Wiltshire, perhaps the best-known swimmer in the field. You can see him up there. He has a very straight left arm as it comes over. Wiltshire well positioned throughout the swim. A little burst in the closing stages to make sure he is the first man onto the pontoon, followed by Rogers. Kerr is there for Australia. Phil Wolfe's had a good swim. Elliot Smales there as well, but Wiltshire stealing some 20 metres or so over the rest of the field. Now, can he get in and out of transition early? It's not so important to lead. It is vital to be in the front group, especially with so many men in transition one together. And Wiltshire has done just the job required. He's going to be followed out by Brendan Sexton. It is a mass of competitors. Just looking at the swim times, 28 men in the first 30 seconds. So a good transition could see men move up a good few places. Davis is out. Morgan Davis, who won the last of the Super Series event. A win here today will ensure that he is the champion for 2015. Sexton trying to get on the wheel of Harry Wiltshire. It's not going to take long. Harry Wiltshire really has a lot to be desired when it comes to riding the bike. He's more like a piston. You don't see him spinning the wheels like Sexton, who's a very smooth cyclist indeed. Charlotte McShane up front with Helen Jenkins in the women's event. This is the camera on board Helen Jenkins's bike. And these two have been swapping the lead every minute or so. They have agreed to work together, and it's working well for them because they've put time on the chasing group already. Gillian Sanders hasn't been able to do anything. Emma Pallant is pushing hard, trying to push the pace in that chasing group. Through Canary Wharf, this is a new part of the course. It's very technical, as you can see, and perhaps beneficial to be in a slightly smaller group. Spectacular shots. And this is the sort of racing that the athletes love. And still, the two leaders putting time into the rest of the field.
Well, they've made their journey into the city right over there, but that is still less than half the story. Join us when the elites are back here in Docklands and see who pulls ahead of the pack for that final 10K run. Welcome back to the AJ Bell London Triathlon, the world's biggest triathlon with over 30,000 spectators and 13,000 men and women taking part. Some of them for the very first time, getting a little taster of this very addictive sport, which may well find them back here for more next year. Now, if they want any tips on how it should be done, the men's and women's elite races are some of the most prestigious and competitive in the world. They're all shaping up right now. So let's rejoin your commentator, Mr. Patrick Winterton.
London Triathlon have struck lucky this year with some beautiful weather for this event, and the elite race going to plan at the moment. Harry Wiltshire out of the water first. He's got Brendan Sexton for company. These two sharing the work, but I think it's inevitable that they will get caught by the chase group. A couple of Ks into the 40-kilometre bike ride, and they still have a lead of some 70-80 metres over the chasers. Here they are, Rogers. Thomas Davis is there. Iestyn Harrett, he could do with a good race, certainly capable of top 5. David Bishop wants a good one after his disappointment in Liverpool. But so much at stake, and so much depends on who can get to the end of the bike ride having used the least energy. Sexton out front is having to work. I'm not quite sure why they're fighting to stay ahead, but they're going to get swallowed up in the next 15 seconds or so, and I think Brendan Sexton then drift back into the pack and try and save himself some energy for later on.
It'll be interesting to see how he goes over the longer distance, and I know whenever I come to the UK there's always tough competition.
And this year is no exception, particularly amongst the young competitors. That 20 to 24-year-old category, so strong in Britain at the moment. And here are two of those youngsters, two Welshmen, Liam Lloyd and Morgan Davis. Davis will want to move up a little. He doesn't want to be cut adrift from that leading group, but this is his Achilles heel. Up front, we've got Rogers. Harrett is there. Luke Penny, number 34, just coming through. He'll take his share at the lead. The peloton working well together. Now, this is a stage of the race. They usually set the speed cameras off. They're going so fast. Rory Atkins, tall figure. This is the camera on the back of Brendan Sexton's bike. And you get to see racing at close quarters at its best. 100% concentration required. Sexton moving up on Rory Atkins. Little injection of speed. He's run straight into the back, and down he goes. The race favourite is out. Brendan Sexton is down, and there's no way he's going to catch the leading group after that. But more significantly, well, let's have a look at the replay. Now, just to watch the back wheel of Rory Atkins, a little application of the brake, and just as he does it, Brendan Sexton's got his head down as he accelerates, and he runs straight in between the wheel and the crank. No way out there for Sexton. He's down. He's taken Davis out of the race as well, so two of the main contenders for the Super Series title have had a real issue, and I can't see them getting back in touch. The pace is furious. It's not like the Tour de France where they'll wait for the race leader. They will put the hammer down and try and pull clear. Sexton back on his bike. He seems to be in one piece. Now, if his body has survived, you have to think that the bike must have taken some impact. We'll see how he gets on, but at least he's putting up a brave charge at the moment. Just ahead of him, Morgan Davis, who's in no man's land as well. And this now is the lead group. Harry Wiltshire is still there. Bo Smith's moved up the order. Harrett is there. David Bishop having a much better race than Liverpool. David Bartlett going well. And Peter Kerr of Australia. Well, it's not been a good month for the Australians, but Peter Kerr could pull one out of the bag here. He's a brilliant athlete. Very good runner indeed, Peter Kerr. Well, Rory Atkins daydreaming. He wanted to go straight on, and the rest of the field realising they had to go left. Here is Brendan Sexton.
Yeah, everything's broken. My wheel, my handlebars. Yeah, luck. You must be gutted. Yeah, I was feeling good. Just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Boys don't wait around for you when you're lying on the ground.
Well, he's right on that last count. Wrong place at the wrong time. I think he was looking in the wrong place at the wrong time. No doubt that Rory Atkins had to react to something that happened in front of him, and the only person Sexton can blame is himself. Now, interesting to see that Morgan Davis has dropped back into the second group, and that is very, very significant. He's a good runner, but I'm not sure he's good enough to catch the likes of Kerr and Liam Lloyd, who are in the leading group at the moment. Smales is there, Wiltshire's there. Wiltshire, I don't think he'll feature in the top 3, but he's had a very good race so far. What about the 2 leading women? It is still McShane and Jenkins going head-to-head, switching the lead time and time again. They might have got a little glimpse of the leading men as we see Emma Pallant, who has done all the donkey work in that chase group, just as she had to do in Liverpool, and she knows that reduces her chance of making an impact on the run. Into T2 for the 2 leading women. Jenkins gained 30 seconds on Pallant in the water, and by my calculation she's gained almost 2 minutes on Pallant out on the road, so she's worked brilliantly well with McShane. Their bike time just over the hour. Last year 3 of the athletes went sub 59, so the new slightly more technical course is a little bit slower, but Jenkins is some runner and may well challenge the time of 1:57.17 that Emma Pallant produced to win last year. McShane gave away 6 seconds in T1. She's given away, 20 paces, so another 4 or 5 seconds needlessly. But I think if McShane was going to beat Jenkins on the run, she would have had to have let Jenkins do all the work on the bike. And to her credit, she has done 50% of the hard work on the bike. Here's Emma Pallant, now almost 3 minutes adrift of the race leaders. Charlotte McShane and Jenkins, the 2 leaders, but the gap has not narrowed between Jenkins and McShane, so advantage Jenkins at the moment. In the men come into T2, and it's Liam Lloyd who's put a burst on in the closing stages of the bike ride, and he could find himself with a tasty little lead heading out. The man from Llanelli, what it would mean to him to win here today. Davis, remember, in that second group, is roughly 1:20 off the pace of Liam Lloyd, who leads in the men's race, and he's got a 5-second advantage over the chasers. David Bishop is there, and we've got the Australian Kerr, who's running very nicely. Peter Kerr, 24, and a man who's improved his biking, which now gives him an opportunity to use his running, and he uses it well. Goes straight past David Bishop on the inside of the turn, just forcing Bishop to go that little bit further, and he's opened up a gap of 2 metres or so. Is he going to challenge Liam Lloyd? He certainly seems to have put on a burst, because he's now 5 metres clear of David Bishop. Here's the race leader, and now only some 15 metres ahead of Peter Kerr, who is closing all the time. Bishop and Roberts having a good race for the last slot on the podium. Well, certainly in terms of body form, your money has to be on the Australian here. Really solid performance from Kerr, and once again he uses the inside of the turn. They fly past Kimberly Morrison. Very solid performance so far. They may have lost Brendan Sexton, but the Australians have Peter Kerr to celebrate as he heads towards the halfway stage of the run. Round another dead turn, that really takes it out of the legs, but no problem in accelerating. Kerr now 7 seconds ahead. Helen Jenkins is over a minute ahead of Charlotte McShane, and as she closes in on the finish, surely it's going to be her day. Emma Pallant in third, she's safe in third, but no chance of catching the 2 leaders. And Helen Jenkins into the Excel Centre. Her second big race in London, her second victory in London is coming her way. She looks in fabulous shape, and I hope that makes up for the disappointment that she suffered out in Rio. Charlotte McShane, a commendable second place, and Emma Pallant trailing in third. Helen Jenkins too good today.
Yeah, I think I was getting out a bit of aggression after, a few bad races this season. It's been a hard few months, so it's great to have a positive result. There's such a good atmosphere today, like everyone was cheering for me, and I love being out there, really working hard with Charlotte on the bike.
Commiserations to one, congratulations to the other.
I'm pretty happy. The race worked out how I was hoping it would.
And the post-race analysis.
It was tough, super strong competition, but it was good. We really enjoyed it.
What about Peter Kerr? What a race. Very, very crafty indeed. He swam well, he played it intelligently on the bike, did no more work than he had to, and he saved it for the last half of the run as well. Flew past Liam Lloyd, but Lloyd will be happy with second place, his best race in the Super Series this year. And David Bishop does what his brother did 3 years ago and gets on the podium in London.
It's just a huge event. I love it. First time here. You know, it's exciting for me. I love big races and race wins. This was every bit as spectacular as I could have hoped.
Liam Lloyd started triathlon at the age of 9.
Really good race. I wasn't really expecting to come second, but give it all, and I was really pleased with that. Everything kind of went well. Yeah, I was really pleased to get the silver medal in the end.
I love this course, and the new alteration was really exciting.
So let's have a look at the men's results. Kerr, Lloyd, Bishop on the podium. Further down, Morgan Davis, who won last weekend in Liverpool, finishes down in 9th place, but still enough to keep him at the top of the Super Series. And in the women's race, Helen Jenkins, with the fastest time ever, takes the win ahead of Charlotte McShane of Australia and Emma Pallant in 3rd place. In the Super Series, Morgan Davis takes the title for 2015 ahead of Matthew Wright of Barbados, and today's winner Liam Lloyd in 3rd. Sophie Caldwell, after great results in Blenheim and Liverpool, claims the women's title. That's all from the elite, but still to come, we have a team of Paralympians taking on a team of able-bodied international athletes from a variety of different sports.
Welcome back to the AJ Bell London Triathlon. Now, we've already seen our elite champions crowned, but the action and entertainment are far from over.
Plenty more athletes waiting to go, some 35 waves in all, involving over 13,000 athletes of all types, and of course so many different categories of race that you can enter: the sprint, the super sprint, the Olympic plus. It goes on and on, so there is something for everyone here in London. And we've already seen the elite in action. Some celebs have been out as well, just pounding the roads. Jason Bradbury, great bike ride from him in Team Stuart Hayes, which finished off with Max Somerset. And now it is the turn of the apprentice winner, Michelle Dewberry.
Now, I know you've done some marathons, but is this your first triathlon?
It's my first triathlon, yes. I'm very nervous indeed, I've got to be honest. I've been trying to train, but I've had a bit of a busy schedule, so I've not done as much as I would like. So I'm hoping that I manage to finish today in a reasonably good time. If I could do it sub 4, I would be high-fiving myself all the way to the pub afterwards, but we'll see.
Michelle, of course, doing her first ever triathlon. There are plenty here who are very experienced indeed.
Some people just love this event so much they come back repeatedly. This is your 4th time, Toby.
It is my 4th one, yeah, for my sins. I can't, but it's such a buzz doing an event like this. That even though you get the nerves and stuff, when you're actually waiting in that way, ready to start your swim, it kind of all the adrenaline kicks in and that competitive spirit as well. So that's already sort of building up inside me now, and that's what gets you back year after year to do it.
And it's always the sign of a good event when people come back for more. And that's the case with Liz Johnson and Danny Krates, who are both Paralympians, and they're actually taking part in a team event this year, and they'll be teaming up with Steve Brown.
So getting into the competitive spirit today, we have a bit of friendly rivalry between a kind of Paralympic team and an Olympic team. We've got Danny, Liz and Steve here. You're going to take part today in the sprint. Are you ready for 20k on the bike?
Ready to be able to do it. I don't know what sort of time I'm going to be getting, if I'm honest with you. Wheelchair rugby's my sport, and then the transition between the wheelchair rugby to doing the arm bike's quite different. So I think I'll get round, but I'm not expecting any miracle times today.
Well, let's just say if you got a good start with the swim, then it will be all fine. How are you feeling about the swim, Liz?
Well, I've only ever done open water swimming once before, and that was last year here. And the boys last year, I surprised you how quickly I came out, didn't I? So I've got a lot to live up to, but I'm excited, and all the pressure's on Steve.
Well, I think Danny Crates might have his work cut out as well. He takes the last leg and will be up against a team of international athletes, including weightlifter Joe Calvino, Joe McRae, of course, former cyclist, and Matthew Eyston will be taking the final leg for their team.
First open water swim ever, so this is a whole new experience for me, different concepts.
Weight training is good preparation for swimming, is it?
Yeah, I've still been doing my weightlifting training, but just cut it down a little bit to get back in the pool because I've not been in a pool for quite some while now. So
Best of luck, guys.
Thank you.
Do well.
So they are called into the water and away they go, looking for some clean water. Certainly an important factor for those who aren't used to this open water swimming. But you can see the difference in standards, the field well spread after the first couple of minutes. Well, there's Joe Calvino battling on. But an excellent swim from Liz Johnson. She really has flown. I know she's a swimmer, but generally only swims over 100 metres in the breaststroke technique. And now handing over to Steve Brown. This is the key leg for the Paralympic team. And Steve really has taken on a lot. I know he's really very, very nervous about this.
Swim 100 metres breaststroke, so that's completely different for me. So I had to find a way to keep motivated for a whole 750. So I was just thinking about things and counting to 20 and then starting again. But I do enjoy it, and I'm glad that we finished ahead of the Olympians.
Liz has come back and Steve has gone.
Yeah, thank you.
We're nervously awaiting Jo to come back.
I know that when she does arrive at the end of that, she's going to be full belt this way, so I'm poised, I'm ready, you know. Oh, I think perhaps...
Well, here is Joe Calvino. Not a bad swim at all, but she's left Joe McRae with a little bit of work to do. But on this course here in London, there are one or two climbs that Steve Brown knows that he's going to find very tough indeed. So you have to feel it is advantage Joe McRae at this stage of the race. Well, here is Steve Brown, whose favoured sport involves skill and agility, not endurance.
I've been training for this at my time. I've got a PB every time I've done it. But when you've only done it 6 times, it's very hard not to go backwards on those sort of times. So I've been training, I've been working at it. Like I say, I think I'm going to get round. It does make my arms ache. It is different from what my body's used to, but I think I'm going to be all right.
Well, he's certainly pushing out a good pace, but not the sort of speed that Joe McRae is achieving, 30 plus kilometres an hour. And making good time. Well, what a great way to see the sights of London, and so many of those involved this weekend will be enjoying the fact that this is one of the hottest weekends we've had all year. Here's Michelle Dewberry, who's elected to do the Olympic event. The silent assassin is on her way and knocking off one or two other competitors as she makes her way round the course. Toby Anstis, on the other hand, has done the super sprint.
There's still the run to go. That's my worst discipline up free. So I'm going to enjoy the cycle.
A fairly leisurely pace for a super sprint, but those involved in the team event certainly a lot more anxious about their own performances and, of course, the performances of their teammates. Well, here comes Joe McRae, her work done. Matthew Eyston now out on the roads. Don't forget, he is up against Danny Crates, who takes the last leg for the Paralympic team. And he's waiting. Joe McRae gaining a significant advantage on the bike ride, unsurprisingly, but a fantastic effort from Steve Brown. Just over the hour for the course on the hand bike.
Can't deny how tricky that was, and On the first lap round, there's a couple of hills that caught me off guard. I wasn't even sure I was going to get up, but luckily there's enough gears on here to get me through it.
You didn't go backwards?
Didn't go backwards, no. Nearly came to a stop a couple of times, but I definitely didn't go backwards. But I know that Liz has done her best. I know that Danny's going to be running out there now, doing his best, and I certainly know I've done my best.
Danny Crates, a former world record holder and Olympic champion over 800 metres.
My running nowadays is I take off like the champion I once was, and then I don't quite finish it like that, but I do start like a champion. We'll leave it at that, yeah.
Hey Danny.
Hey, you alright?
Yeah, how you getting on?
Oh, it's alright, yeah.
Have you seen the other team?
Oh, they're well in front now. It's these guys I'm trying to catch.
Danny Crates moving through the field nicely on his 5k run. Toby Ansis, on the other hand, only a 2.5 kilometre run. Blowing kisses to the crowd. I'm not sure his priorities are in the right place. Now also waiting for Michelle Dubry. She's out there. Remember, she was looking for a time of under 4 hours. She's well ahead of that schedule. Here she is. And moving very nicely. That's a good run so far from her. Everyone seems to have a little bit of extra effort for that last 50 metres. And here come Joe Calvino, Joe McRae, Matthew Eyston, just over an hour 20. Great effort.
Well done. How was it?
It was good. It's tough. We might have to go to these guys. I need a quick breather. Yeah, it was a beautiful, really good race though. Enjoyed it. It's nice doing it with the team as well, because usually just on your own, and nice doing it for a good cause, Triathlon, big of the kids. So no, I'm really pleased.
Danny Crates, in the end, left with too much to do, but fabulous effort from the Paralympians.
I mean, massive respect to everyone out there, especially the ones doing the full triathlon, because I just done like a 5k run, and that is hard. But I say, like, listen, me and her did it last year. She's a swimmer, I'm a runner, but she's only been in a ramp cycle for what, 4 weeks now, so massive to go out there and do 20k on this course in the heat, the hills, legend. And this is what triathlon's about, though. It's about people getting in amongst sport and enjoying sports.
I can only second what Danny Crates has said there, and particularly good effort from Steve Brown as we watch Michelle Dubry coming into the final stages. Now that is a good time. She's beaten 4, she's beaten 3 hours.
I really enjoyed it.
You were saying something about 4 hours, but you was it under 3 in the end, I think?
Did I do under 3? Did I really? Awesome! How good is that?
Well, it's fantastic, yeah, really nice.
Yeah, it's good. Do it.
Yeah, it was really good fun. Really enjoyed it. What an awesome day. I've had such a good time.
And buoyed on by the fans, here comes Toby Anstis, upping the pace for the last 50 metres or so.
Still people lining the course, people up on bridges, people stopping on their mopeds and clapping and cheering. Music out on the course, all the first aiders. The spot is the most brilliantly organised thing I think I've ever been part of. Absolutely brilliant, and I'm back next year. Come on.
Well, that's why this remains the biggest triathlon in the world year on year. Congratulations to everyone we've seen competing here this weekend, and no doubt we will see many of them back here again next year for the London Triathlon. Until then, goodbye.